Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So let's talk about Galaxy Buds, because Samsung is clearly putting in a lot of effort into their own wireless buds. In just the past 2 years, there have already been 4 new buds from Samsung, and I have 3 of them here with me. So we have the original Galaxy Buds launched in March 2019, the Buds Plus launched almost a year later, the Buds Live launched only 6 months after that, which I don't have unfortunately, and the Buds Pro, which just came out, again roughly 6 months after the Buds Live. In this video we are going to compare these 3 buds and we will find an overall winner, so let's get into it. Design-wise, as you can see, both the Buds and Buds Plus have this pill shape, and with the Pro they changed that to be more square. It doesn't really matter, it's not a big difference, but personally I preferred the pill shape. I think it feels a bit smaller in your pocket, even if it isn't really. The Buds Plus had a glossy finish, whilst the originals and the Buds Pro have both a matte finish, which if you look at my original Buds compared to the Buds Plus, means over time it will get more scuffs and will look more worn out than if they were glossy. One annoying thing about the new Buds Pro is that it's hard to tell which way it opens. It's easy with the original Buds and the Buds Plus because of this lip, which makes it very obvious what side is the front and back. On the Pro they don't have this, and I have accidentally tried to open them from the wrong way a few times. Samsung have been working to improve the cases, and it shows. The original Buds have a hinge that feels a bit jerky and not smooth. Also, with the original Buds, if you don't slam the case shut, it won't actually close by itself. You can achieve that with the Buds Plus as well, but it's more tricky and the mechanism in general feels nicer and smoother. The Buds Pro are the best, however. These close themselves no matter how gently you do it, and it's the only pair with some soft rubber on the top of the case to reduce the impact from shutting the case. All 3 can charge over USB-C and also wirelessly. Annoyingly, because the Buds Pro have a different design, my wireless charger can only charge them if I put something at the bottom to raise up the buds. The pill shape of the Buds and the Buds Plus is long enough that I didn't have to do this. If we take a look at the buds themselves, the Buds and Buds Plus are almost identical, whilst the Buds Pro is a bit chunkier, and that's to be expected since it supports active noise cancelling whilst the other 2 don't. All of the buds are comfortable to wear. I think the Buds Pro are a bit more annoying to put in than the other 2. I find that for me I need to do a little twisting motion to get it into the right place, whereas the older buds just pop in. Touch controls are pretty much the same on all of the buds. You tap them once to start and stop your music, double tap to skip to the next track, triple tap to go back to the previous track, and you can hold them down to do various functions which you can program yourself. They work well for the most part, but it's not perfect. Sometimes you will double tap when you want to skip to the next track, but the buds will only recognize one of the taps and it will instead pause your music. It's annoying, but it doesn't happen too often, so I can live with it. When it comes to battery life, the original Buds will have the worst battery life, and then it's pretty close between the Buds Plus and the Buds Pro, but if you are using active noise cancelling on the Buds Pro, which realistically you will be using most of the time, that does reduce the battery life by quite a bit. Still, all of them charge pretty quickly. Around 10 minutes of charging the case will give you an hour or more of listening time, apparently 3 hours on the Buds Plus, which is particularly impressive. Let's talk about noise cancelling. So of course only the Buds Pro have active noise cancelling, where the microphones are listening to your surroundings to actively reduce the background noise you hear. But all of the buds have quite decent passive noise cancelling because they all seal inside your ear, so even the original Buds and the Buds Plus are surprisingly good at reducing background noise. That said, the Buds Pro win hands down. Overall, I've been impressed with the noise cancelling. It's not going to compare to large over-ear headphones like Bose and Sony's offerings, but that's not the point. The Buds Pro are able to cancel out quite a lot of background noise and let you enjoy your music without having to turn the volume all the way up to the top. And I think this is the biggest overall benefit of active noise cancelling, because if you constantly blast loud music into your ears, you will have hearing issues at some point in your life. It's worth pointing out that Samsung also did a good job of the software on the Buds Pro. We'll talk more about that later, but when it comes to noise cancelling specifically, it means you can program actions on the buds. By default, if you touch and hold the buds, noise cancelling will turn on or off. There's another useful feature called Voice Detect, and it actually works well. So with this enabled, it means you can have noise cancelling activated, but if you speak or someone speaks to you, it will enable ambient sound, which makes the microphone pick up voices, and it will also reduce the music volume level. Note that if there are people talking close to you, even if they're not talking directly to you, it will still activate ambient sound. But generally, it's a good feature, and it means you don't have to take your buds out to have a conversation. Ambient sound exists on all three buds, but on the originals and Buds Plus there is no voice detect feature, so you have to manually turn it on and off, which you can do if you program it to holding down one of the earbuds. Performance-wise, it seems to get better with each new pair. The original Buds picks up a lot more ambient noise and background noise than the Buds Pro. I did a quick test with the microphones both indoors and outdoors, so have a listen and come to your own conclusion. This is an audio test on the original Galaxy Buds. And this is an audio test on the original Galaxy Buds whilst outside. This is an audio test on the Galaxy Buds Plus. And this is an audio test on the Galaxy Buds Plus whilst outside. This is an audio test on the Galaxy Buds Pro. And this is an audio test on the Galaxy Buds Pro whilst outside. What I will say is that when I've had phone calls on both the original Buds and Buds Plus, I've had people complain about the microphone quality. I haven't had that with the Buds Pro, but then again, I've only used them for a few weeks, so I can't say for sure. I think they would still struggle if there's strong wind noise. Okay, I guess we're at the point where we need to talk about sound quality. I want to say this is just my opinion and nothing more. I'm not a sound engineer, and I'm also not an expert on audio. But to me, the Buds Pro sound the best basically in every situation. I spent a full day listening to music, switching between all three Buds, trying out different equalization settings, and the Buds Pro won. Simple as that. For me, it's because I like a bit of bass and low end in my music, and the Buds Pro is in a completely different league when it comes to bass. The Buds Pro could be in normal mode, which is the mode I ended up using most of the time, and it will still have more bass than either of the other Buds, even if they are in bass boost mode. Mind you, when they are in bass boost mode, the higher frequencies do suffer a bit, so with the Buds Pro I can get the bass I want and still keep the rest of the frequencies sounding clean, so the best of both worlds. If you put the Buds Pro into bass mode, they will give your head a little kick. It works really well for some genres like hip hop, but I wouldn't recommend you to keep them in bass mode as it can be a bit overpowering in other genres. I also found soundstage to be generally the best on the Buds Pro, followed closely by the Buds Plus and then the original Buds. Interestingly, the original Buds actually have more bass than the Buds Plus. I noticed this when I first got them around a year ago, and I got reminded of this fact whilst making the review. If you're into mobile gaming, both the Buds Plus and Pro have a gaming mode, which I assume reduces the audio bitrate to reduce the delay in the earbuds. I haven't tested this properly enough to comment on its performance though. Another feature missing from the original Buds is being able to play music from Spotify by holding down one of the Buds. Both the Buds Plus and the Buds Pro have this feature, and it's a useful one. Now, we have to mention pricing as well. So at the time of writing this review, I was able to find the original Buds on sale for $75, the Buds Plus for $109, and the Buds Pro for $199. So that is a big difference. The Pro is more than double the price of the original Buds. So, in conclusion, perhaps it's the obvious answer, but it's the honest answer I've come to after testing all of these Buds. The Buds Pro perform the best, have the most features, but they're the most expensive. $200 is a lot of money, and for that price you can almost buy a pair of the previous generation Sony WH-1000XM3s. So you'd have to have a think about what's more important to you, overall performance or compactness and portability. I really do like the Buds Pro. You get a lot of performance from something that fits into your pocket. Thanks guys for watching as always. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, it helps the channel out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.